Okay, here we go. Hello everyone, how are you doing today? I'm Kenny Stahl. Welcome back to another video. Right now what I would like to do is I'd like to talk to you for a little while and share with you guys my thoughts on attitude and try to help you guys, give you guys some advice, some tips, how you can improve your attitude and be more positive, really, because that's what it is. You can either have a positive attitude or a negative attitude, and many of us only focus on the negative. Actually, it's easier to do that, and most people, that's just naturally what they do, is they see the negative in the world. A lot of people just assume the worst in things. They want to blame other people for things that they should be responsible for. A lot of times people just aren't confident. They don't believe in themselves, and they just have this limiting mindset where they just say things like, I can never be successful, I can't do that. And you see us repeating words over and over again that indicate that we have a negative mindset. People will say things like, oh, this sucks, everything sucks. You know, that's how you know that somebody has a negative attitude. And one of the things that, you might be able to work on, this is actually tip number one, is listen to the things that you say. What words are you using? So if you constantly say things like that, like I can't do this, everything sucks, try to increase your vocabulary. Learn how to explain your feelings better than just things like that. So, we have language, we have words to be able to express how we feel. And sometimes we just get in a repetitive routine of just saying the same thing over and over again. So if somebody asks you, what do you think about people? And you say, people suck. I hate people. And then somebody asks you, well, what do you think about TV, video games? I hate TV. It sucks. I hate video games. It sucks. Okay, what do you think about the world? I hate the world. It sucks. It's like, do you see a repetitive pattern there? So if you want to have, a clear mind where you're not just seeing things one way, you want to see things other way, learn to say new things, express your feelings better, your attitude. It's kind of like if you're a 2-year-old and you just learned how to talk and you just learned how to say the word no. Parents know what this is like, when their kid just says no all the time because they just learn how to say it. And that's sometimes how adults are. They learn how to talk a certain way, and it just becomes who they are, and they never try to change that. So that's tip number one, to help your attitude out. Focus on forcing yourself to say things more positive. Saying that you love things more. Saying that you're thankful more for things. Saying that you can instead of that you can't. Instead of blaming other people for things that go wrong, say maybe I can blame myself. And you have to really internalize this and really think about it yourself and try to do this as much as you can in your life. So that's tip number one. So our attitude is the way that we frame things, right? Our attitude is our view of the world and of ourselves. So really what we're working on is to just be able to frame things differently. And one of the problems that I run into when I deal with this is I think about, a lot of people would say, well, you can't just be positive all the time. There's reasons to be negative. There's reasons to be critical of things. And there's reasons to be pessimistic. So what I would respond to that is I would say that it's not that we are trying to force everybody to be positive and not be negative. Trust me, I believe there's a place in being negative. I believe there's a place in seeing the potential dangers of everything. But what people do is they just lock into the negative mindset and they just can't see the positive. They don't see anything as being positive. But what I truly believe is that there's both positive and negative in everything. And so many people are just focusing on the negative, they ignore all the positive. So what I would like to do is encourage you to try to see the positive in everything and not just see the negative. That's how we can improve our attitude, to have this balance. So tip number one for you is to work on understanding, being aware of your language, and working on that. Tip number two is to try to be more thankful, try to be more grateful for things. And this kind of goes with what I just said. Sure, you can point out how everything in the world is a problem, how everything seems like it's just trying to make your life worse. And trying to, it's very easy to see how you're kind of working in this uphill battle, trying to live your life, but everything seems to be going wrong. And it's like, how can you be positive in a time when it seems like you just have so many problems that are going wrong? And it's like, how can you be positive? Well, the thing is that when you choose to focus on your problems, when you choose to focus on things that aren't going well, you're just focusing on the negative. So, my advice to improve your attitude, to get a little bit better, to see things more positively, is to say, well, what things are you overlooking in your life that you can be thankful for? So when you have some free time, when you're just relaxing, work on this. Take some time to just say, what can I be thankful for right now? What can I be thankful for? So for me, I'd say, well, I'm thankful that I have parents. I'm thankful that I have family, brothers and sisters that are still alive. I'm thankful that I'm healthy, that I have a healthy body. I'm thankful that I have a place to live. I'm thankful that I'm able to pay my bills. I'm thankful I don't live in a country that is in the middle of some crisis or war or something. Okay, cool. So I can do that, and that immediately that puts me in a place of not feeling like I'm in a world which is completely just trying to kill me. I realize that I'm in a world which I can be thankful for, and I love this. Like, this is amazing. And immediately my focus shifts from negative to being positive in what I'm grateful for. That's always the first place to start. That doesn't mean that you have to ignore and pretend like your problems aren't real. That's something that people do, that people say, just be positive, don't ever be negative. No, problems are real. You don't have to ignore them, but also just also see the positive in what you're thankful for. So that's tip number 2. Tip number 3 is just a simple, this is just a point I want to make. When it comes to why is it that some people tend to have a bad attitude? Some people have bad attitudes because it's a little bit different than what I was already talking about, but some people want to use what they believe, how they feel, as an excuse for not taking responsibility for themselves. For example, when I was younger growing up, my little sisters and brothers would always be told by my parents. My parents would say, hey, go clean your room, go take out the trash, go do your homework. And they would always be like, I don't want to. And they'd say no. And they would have this we would say that is a bad attitude. And as you get older and older, as you are an adult, you get more and more responsibilities in your life. So these are things that you might not want to do, but you have to do to be responsible. So if you have a bad attitude, what you're saying is, I just don't want to do anything. So my point here is become aware of why you might have a negative attitude. I struggle with this a lot. I've had a bad attitude when it comes to this because I don't want to do things. I don't want to put that energy and effort into living my life. I don't want to take responsibility. I'm just lazy. So understand that everybody has their own reasons for having a bad attitude. Usually it's because they want to escape responsibility, or it's because of something like that in certain situations. So that covers that. I just wanted to get that in there. So let's just move on. I'm going to talk about something else to end this here. The last tip I have for you, number 4, is to recognize that, this kind of relates to confidence and self-esteem. To realize that a lot of times people are afraid of failure. They're afraid of getting rejected. So when you think about the future and the possibilities for yourself, you might say things like, this is just going to go wrong. It's not going to work out for me. I can't do that. That's a confidence issue. So how do we work on our attitude so we can begin being more confident and believe in ourselves and have a positive attitude? For instance, if you have a job interview and you just say, oh, that person, they're not going to like me, they're not going to hire me, I'm just going to get rejected by them. What do? Well, this is an issue because essentially people are not willing to fail. People are not willing to lose. People are not willing to get rejected. So in order to improve your attitude, to not be so negative, is to realize that failure, getting rejected, losing, having things not work out, there is positive in doing all that. But we all have this big ego. We have this need for being perfect. We have a very perfectionist mindset. that nothing can ever go wrong, that we are holding ourselves to the standard, this and it is not allowing ourselves to have anything bad happen. So we have to kind of let go of that fear. We have to let go of that and realize that there is a lot of good stuff that can happen by failing. We can learn a lot. People often say, like, hey, going through depression is not a good thing. It's terrible. It's awful. Well, that's one way to look at it. You know how I look at it? Yeah, being depressed sucks. It is not good. Nothing you want to have. And you're suffering when you're going through depression. But once you get through depression, once you've gotten better, once you've become healthier, and you're no longer depressed, you can look back at your experience and say, wow, that really sucked, but I learned something from it. By being depressed, I learned what really does make me happy. By being depressed, I learned that, maybe there are things about life that aren't so positive, and I really felt better. Once you get out of depression, you realize what really matters to you. You really realize what you love, what you are passionate about. Going through something hard, a challenge, isn't something that should be something that you approach with a negative attitude if you understand that going through the challenge or the hardship will make you a better person. So what we all have to learn to do is to forgive ourselves for not being perfect. Forgive yourself. You're not perfect. You're going to fail. You're going to mess up. Don't be so hard on yourself. That's just what is going to hurt your self-esteem, damage you. We're all worried about our reputations. Don't worry about it. That's my advice. That is just my thoughts. So yeah, the thing that I'm trying to say is that even with all the bad stuff, even with all the negative stuff going on, there's still positive things that we can find within the suffering that we experience. And that's a hard thing for people to know. People do not want to accept the fact that even with the bad stuff that we have, that there is good stuff there. And that's really what finding a better attitude is all about. It's all about realizing that among the bad shit, there's also good shit. And being aware of that is gonna free you from the negativity that is controlling your life. My name is Kenny Stahl. I hope you like this video. I do want to hear what you have to say in the comments, so please leave a comment. Subscribe if you want to see more. If you thought this video was thought-provoking, if you liked it, if you want other people to see it, please share it. And thank you for watching. I'm Kenny Stahl. I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye.